What's going on, everybody? Kalipa's Tech here, coming back at you with another video. In this video, I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks for the TCL 30XL to help you make the most of the camera setup. Now, as always, before we go any further, I do want to remind you to hit that subscribe button, and if you want to learn more about this phone, I will be linking to several other videos about it in the description, as well as some information about pricing, availability, and my favorite accessories for it. But with that being said, let's get into it. So the first thing I want to show you is a quick way to open the camera. Now, opening the camera from the home screen is easy enough, but if you're doing something else on your phone, say you're browsing the web for example, and you want to capture something quickly in the moment, having a shortcut is going to make it a lot more convenient. So to open the camera, no matter what you're doing on your phone, all you have to do is double press the power key like this, and it's going to open right up. So as you can see, real quick and convenient. Let's try that one more time. So again, now we're on the home screen, double press the power key, and the camera is going to open right up. And another really cool thing about this shortcut is that it even works when the phone is locked. So if we go like this, as you can see, it is locked. But if we double press the power key, it's going to open the camera right up. The next thing I'm going to show you is a way to take a picture using your fingerprint scanner. Now normally when you're taking photos, obviously the main shutter button is right here. But another thing you can do is go to the main settings menu. From here, go to buttons and gestures. From this menu, go to gestures. And all the way at the bottom, where it says fingerprint gestures, toggle on take photo or video. Now if we go back to the camera, if you tap on the fingerprint sensor, it's going to take a photo. Now I'm not really sure exactly how useful this is. I guess if you're taking a selfie or something, it could be a kind of cool feature to have, but all the same, it is a more unique one that not every phone has. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to use the ultra-wide camera. Now in case you don't know, the ultra-wide camera is basically going to give you a wider angle, and this is great for stuff like group photos, scenery type stuff. Maybe you're taking a picture of a room or a larger object. The list really goes on, and activating the ultra-wide camera is also real easy. All you have to do is press this icon right here. And as you can see, now we have a wider angle and you can fit a lot more content into the frame. Once you're done with the ultra-wide camera and you want to go back to normal, simply hit the icon one more time, and it's going to go right back. Now I'm going to show you the complete opposite of the ultra-wide camera, and that is the macro camera. The macro camera is great for getting those close-up detailed images. I feel like it's a little bit more of a niche feature compared to the ultra-wide camera, but it's definitely a nice one to have. So to get to the macro camera, hit these lines right here, select super macro, and now we are in macro mode. And when you're taking photos with the macro camera, be sure you're actually close enough to the subject, otherwise it won't focus properly. And that really brings me to my next point. When you're done with macro mode, be sure to go back to normal by either hitting the X right here or pressing the back button, otherwise your photos are not going to turn out right. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to change your aspect ratio. So up in this bar here, it tells us the current aspect ratio, which by default is going to be 4:3, pretty much the industry standard in 2022. To change it, tap on the icon. And as you can see, you can choose between 4:3, 16:9, 1:1, or full, which in the case of this phone is 20.5:9. So definitely nice that we got a few options here, because depending on what you're taking photos for, changing the aspect ratio in the camera itself instead of having to crop it later makes things a lot more convenient. The next thing I'm going to show you is a more unique feature called Calorie Detection. Now I've never used this before and I don't even know if it works, but I guess we're about to find out. Basically, in theory, what this feature does is allows you to point the camera at food and the phone is going to detect it and automatically estimate the calories. Now again, it's kind of a long shot whether or not it really works reliably, but we're going to find out. To turn it on, from the camera app, what you're going to do is go to settings. From here, go to intelligent features and toggle on calorie detection. So now if we go back to the camera, let's see how well it works. So as you can see, it actually did work. Now again, I'm not actually sure how reliable it is, so if you're really using this feature a lot, I might recommend getting an external app that's really designed for that kind of thing, but it is cool to see it in the camera app itself. Definitely a more unique feature that you don't see in every phone. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to change your video resolution. Now with this phone for video, we got a max recording quality of 1080p in both the rear and front cameras, which in and of itself is pretty common, and under normal circumstances, 1080p will be perfectly fine, but maybe you're recording a longer video where the quality may not be super important. In that case, since longer videos do tend to take up a lot more space, you might want to record it in a lower resolution to get a smaller file. So to do this, what we're going to do is go to settings. Video quality is right here, tap on this. And as you can see, again, by default, it will already be in 1080p, but you can change it to 720p or 480p. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to turn on the grid lines. To do this, tap on this bar right here, tap on the grid lines icon right here, and there we go. Now I'm going to show you a few different options for the volume keys. Now by default, the volume keys are basically going to function as a physical shutter button, so if you press either of them, it's basically going to take a picture or record a video depending on the mode you're in. But we do have some other options, so if you go to settings, from here, go to volume button function, And again, by default, it will be at the shutter, but you can also have it zoom or control the system volume. So for this, we're gonna go to zoom. And now if we go back to the camera, if you press the volume up, it's gonna zoom in. And volume down is gonna zoom out. Now the last thing I'm going to show you is a feature called touch to shoot. What this does is basically allows you to take a picture whenever you touch the screen, which is definitely useful for stuff like selfies or really anything you may be doing with one hand. And activating this is real easy. All you got to do is tap this bar. The icon is right here. And now whenever you touch the screen, it's going to take a picture. Now as a bonus, you've probably noticed that shutter is super loud, so in case you're wondering, I'm going to show you how to mute it. So to mute the shutter, what you're going to do is go to settings. From here, go all the way to the bottom. And as you can see, by default, the shutter sound is going to be on, so simply toggle it off. And now if we go back to the camera, we're no longer going to get that obnoxious shutter sound. But those were my camera tips and tricks for the TCL 30XL. Again, if you want to learn more about this phone, I will be linking to several other videos about it in the description, as well as some information about pricing, deals, promotions, and my favorite accessories for it. But that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it and found it useful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to follow Kalipis Tech on Twitter and Instagram. And as always, I will see you in the next video.